Hi, let's take another look at Action Comics. This is from 1958, August of 1958. This is Action Comics number 243. The previous issue debuted Brainiac, and so now this is the debut of Super Lion or Super Beast. Um, really, this was an idea that was cooked up as, just a random story for this issue, but appeared in many, many, many other stories like throughout the years into the 60s and 70s. Um, this cover was done by Kurt Swan and Stan Kay and Ira Schnapp. Kurt Swan did a lot of these covers, but he didn't do the interiors as much in this period. And so here is a splash page that basically shows the gist of what the story is going to be. Here, Super Lion, basically Superman mutated as a lion, probably giving birth to the furry craze. I don't know. But he's got Lois in tow. They went to see Beauty and the Beast inappropriately. And so here Superman is entertaining a bunch of orphan kids and, raising money for them and stuff. And he puts his head in this lion's mouth and everything. And they give him a plaque for, playing with the orphan kids and stuff. And so Superman goes to the Fortress of Solitude. There's that classic yellow key that he shoves into this keyhole here. And he has a whole trophy room full of stuff. And he's like, oh, I'll have to build more space for all these trophies soon. He has the bottled city of Kandor here, and he's looking at it. And with his telescopic vision, he detects trouble brewing in an ancient ruin. There's this woman being trapped by an earthquake, and so he flies to her rescue. And by rescuing this woman, it's basically her name is Circe. I think she's now credited as Circe too. So she's not um, totally the Wonder Woman character, but I think they retcon her as like the daughter of or something like that. But anyways, she wants to reward him and marry him and all this stuff. And so she gives Superman this drink, and Superman drinks it, and it's like, other men I despise, but you are worthy of being my companion for life. Marry me, Superman. And Superman's like, no, no, no. And then Cersei's like, if you do not come back to me for the antidote of what you just drank before the next dawn, you will turn into the creature you most resemble by nature. And so he thinks is an empty threat, but his hands turn into paws. I like the coloring here on such an old comic. They have a lot of like oranges and dark browns and light browns and stuff to convey the lion here. Pretty cool stuff. The art for this was done by Wayne Boring and inked by Stan Kay. This is written by Otto Binder. Superman's now a super lion. They should do this figure, man. It looks pretty cool. He's still got all of Superman's powers, but he's a lion. And even when he's like Clark, he's a lion as well. Because that's just what he is. So, Circe has left. She's gone to other planets. Superman has no clue where she is to try and get this antidote. Lois wants to date Superman again, but Superman's a lion. And she's like, what do outward appearances mean? You're still the same wonderful man inside. Shall we go, Superman? Yeah, she's really lying here, but she's trying to forget that Superman's a lion. So they're watching Beauty and the Beast for some reason. She's like, oh, I forgot what play this was, and he didn't notice the billings as we entered. I made a terrible mistake. So they're watching this Beauty and the Beast thing, and Superman feels ashamed and all that stuff. And so the girl in the play kisses the Beast, and he turns into the Beauty, and so Lois thinks the same thing will happen here. And she's like, I'll show Superman I feel the same way as Beauty toward her Beast. Perhaps if I kiss him, I will restore him to normal. Well, that doesn't happen. It happens in the play, though. And when the lights come up, everyone's like, oh, yeah, someone is in a Superman costume with a Beast mask. Oh, pretty cool, promotion and everything. So Superman feels even more ashamed. Superman can't entertain the kids as he once did, but he pretends that he's a lion by putting his lion head through this curtain, and the kids can, put their heads in the lion's mouth. I guess this was like a thing in the 50s. I don't know. I know it was a circus act, but like they keep doing this in this comic, and of course they're no danger because it's just Superman as a lion. Some circus is dressing a lion up as Superman, but the poor lion is sick, so Superman goes to get a job there because he feels he can't like become Superman anymore. He's still got his superpowers, but now he's Super Lion, so he's flying through all these um, flaming hoops and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think there's a heavy emphasis on if you're different looking, or if you're different than anyone else, then you're quote unquote ugly and ostracized from society just automatically. That wouldn't be the attitude today. Anyways, these lions are going crazy in Africa somewhere while they're filming a movie, and Superman subdues the lions. Um, and so they all like him at the end. And he's like king of the beast. He beat up the king lion, and so Superman's like, I should be with all the people like down below, but I'll be a freak for life unless I locate Circe. And so he can't locate Circe with his super telescope, but he does detect kryptonite around him. So he wondered why he was affected by the potion since he's invulnerable to everything. I don't know at what point they established that Superman could succumb to magic, but that doesn't come into play here. It's really that he has a light dusting of kryptonite around him that still enables him to do all his super feats and stuff, but it's just enough so that he succumbed to the potion that turned him into a lion. And so he looks through the books in the library of the Ball City of Kandor with his supervision, rather than just go down there, and concocts an antidote, and it works. The end. Very pat. So that was the Superman feature in Action Comics 243. Action Comics still had other comics in it at this time. Here's a kitty comic, Casey the Cop. Lots of kitty comics, and of course ads for things. Wanted a pal. This is more an ad. They had these like little pro-social PSAs and things. What's funny about this is this guy that talks to this kid that wants a friend doesn't become his friend. He just talks about how he had a friend back in another summer. Peg, another kid comic. And Superman of America. And you can decode a secret message there. Here's Tommy Tomorrow. Tommy Tomorrow was written by, this story was written by Otto Binder, and the pencils and inks are by Jim Mooney. And the other Tommy Tomorrows, so they take place in the future, and basically the other Tommy Tomorrows were more sort of like administration based, like they had to find people to sign some sort of contract in one issue. This is more action packed. They land on this planet. You could tell what it is, and it's behaving weirdly and stuff. It turns out that it's really a living creature. But it takes them very, very long to figure this out. And there's the creature. It was coiled up into like a ball, and they didn't know that it was really a creature and not a planet. Anyways, they're trapped in this as it goes towards the sun, and somehow they escape it. They make it sleep by giving it this radio broadcast that they were falling asleep to before. And they give the guy from the radio broadcast like a special note thanking him, and he has no clue why. The end. Here's another kid comic, Varsity Vic. Shorty. Yeah, they had a lot of these kiddie comic things in DC Comics at the time, national periodicals. And here's another Palisades amusement park coupon for free admission. These ran in DC Comics for years and years into the 60s. Gag Bag, here's a bunch of different, what we would now call dad jokes, but just cheesy jokes, puns, things like that. And here's Congo Bill. This story was written by Jack Miller and penciled and inked by Howard Sherman. And this is a continuation of the previous Congo Bill that was in the previous issue of Action Comics. They defeated an alien that was trying to take over the world, and all his alien pals are here. This is mega action-packed. One thing I noticed about these Congo Bill comics is that he's in the jungle, and that's the point, but, like, he rarely does anything jungle related. It's all, you know, it's like these aliens, or there were diamond smugglers at one point. But, I mean, for the most part, I don't really see a lot of, like, jungle action happening. This could have taken place anywhere. But yeah, this is super action-packed. Look at all this, like, alien creatures and things. Very, very colorful. They're fighting these guys. Look at all these bursts at the end. And here's some ads from the time. Daisy air rifle, yeah. These air rifles and stuff were big for kids. And all these prizes you can get. I always just looked at these, but I never ordered it. I figured it was a scam. I didn't really want these things anyways. I just liked looking at them. And that is Action Comics 243 from August 1958. I hope you like going through this with me. If you like this video, please give a like. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Lots of great comic book stuff. So until next time, take care.